But what I believe that life is all about choices and opportunities. And every one has a story. And every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And my beginning starts in this really small town in upstate New York called Penn Yan. I mean, really country town. And I'm a member of a family of 16, and I'm number 15. And I have 8 older brothers, and we all wanted to play in the NFL, all of us. And I had this dream at the age of 9 that I was going to make it to the NFL. So I go to my mom, and I tell my mom, I say, Mom, I'm going to play in the NFL, just like that. Not knowing what I was doing at the time, but I was speaking my future into the present. And we all have that same capability because our words have power. I didn't know it at the time. And so the other thing that I did is that every day I thought about playing in the NFL. And I hear people talk about the law of attraction. Well, what you think about the most will come to you. And every single day, all I thought about was playing in the NFL. And we had this long backyard because we needed it, right? We had this long backyard, and we'd be out in the backyard with my brothers. And, my brothers would go inside, but I would stay outside all by myself. Look kind of crazy. Now, you got to get this picture because I'm a fanatic. I slept with the football. I had the football at the dinner table. I was really, really bad. And my brothers would go inside, but I would stay outside all by myself, pretending I was in the NFL. I was making moves on the air. I heard the crowd roar. I heard the cheerleaders cheer. And at the age of 9, I was in the NFL in my mind. Everything begins with a thought. And one thing I understood also is that in order to be the best at what you do, you cannot do what everybody else is doing. So I wanted to be the best football player I could possibly be. And so I was the first one on the field. I was the last one off the field. I was the first one in the weight room. I was the last one out of the weight room because I wanted to make it to the NFL. And as I made those choices, colleges were coming. I got several offers to go to school, and I had to choose. And then here's the choices that I had to make. I had to choose from University of Florida. Now, this is 1977, for those of you who know about football a little bit. 1977, I had a choice to go to University of Florida, the Gators. That's big time. And so I go down to University of Florida, and I'm excited because, their colors are orange and blue, same colors as my high school. The dorms were inside the stadium. I'm in heaven. I'm going to the University of Florida, no question about it. So I had another visit to take, and on that visit, it was East Carolina. I had never heard of East Carolina before. I was just going on a visit because it was a free plane trip, And so I was going to get a chance to fly again. And so I go to East Carolina, and I met a man by the name of Pat Dye, great coach, coached at Auburn. And he says to me, he says, if you come here, you will get an opportunity to play, and you'll get an opportunity to play in the NFL. That's all I needed to hear. Play in the NFL? See, the guy at Florida didn't tell me that. And so I go back home and tell all my brothers and sisters, my mom and dad, I don't want to go to University of Florida anymore. I want to go to East Carolina. They thought I was crazy. I remember my father saying, I heard of North Carolina and I heard of South Carolina. But where in the hell is East Carolina? Wasn't even on the map. But it was my choice. I made that choice to go there. And so I did very well. My senior year, the pro scouts were coming around. The agents were coming around, and I seen my dream coming true. And I had a choice to make my senior year. Now, you got to understand, I wasn't really a great student. I just did the bare minimum just to get through. And so my agent comes to me and says to me, we need you to go down to Miami and get ready for the NFL Combine. NFL Combine, no problem. When do I leave? But I had 11 credits left to graduate. So now I got to make this choice. Either to go down to Miami and get ready for the NFL Combine and get ready for the NFL Draft, or stay in school and finish my degree and graduate on time. NFL Combine, stay in school and graduate. You know what I did. I dropped out of school with 11 credits left, my choice. Not understanding and realizing, man, if I get hurt, injured real bad, now I'm out of education and I'm out of football. But it didn't happen. I got drafted. I remember draft day came, and I'm in my apartment watching the draft on my 12-inch black and white TV. I remember just like it was yesterday. And so my agent was telling me that I was going to get drafted in the 4th or the 5th round to the Washington Redskins. Didn't matter to me, just as long as I got drafted. I just wanted to make it to the NFL. And so the draft comes on TV, the first round goes by, and I see some of the guys I've met at the NFL Combine, see them go through the draft, and real happy for them and everything. And the second round comes by, I'm waiting for the 4th or the 5th round. You know, that's when I'm going to get drafted. So I see the New England Patriots has a pick in the second round, and I see when they go to New England and they go to their desk and they write down the name Anthony Collins. I was wondering, is there another Anthony Collins in this draft? And I get the phone call, and I get drafted by the New England Patriots in the second round in 1981. My dream has come true. All the hard work, all the dedication, it came true for me. And so when I get to New England, I'm the 3rd string running back. And I've never been the 3rd string running back before in my life. But in my mind, I'm the 1st string running back. There's 2 other guys ahead of me. One name was Vegas Ferguson. He was a Heisman candidate. The other one was Horace Ivory. And, you know, in my mind, I'm doing all the things possible. First one on the field, last one off the field, first one in the weight room, last one out of the weight room, because I'm the 1st string running back. They just don't know it yet. And so summer comes, training camp comes. The first week of training camp, Horace Ivory goes down. Felt a little bad for Horace, but I moved up to the number 2 spot. Felt real good for Tony. So third week comes in, 4th week comes in, Vegas Ferguson gets hurt. Felt real bad for Vegas. Felt real good for Tony. Because now I'm the only healthy running back to start. And I start the first game of my rookie season against the Baltimore Colts. I had 18 carries for 81 yards, 4 catches for 39 yards. I remember just like it was yesterday, and I'm off and running. My career is off and running. I got Rookie of the Year that year. 2nd year, I led the team in rushing. The 3rd year was my breakout year when I rushed for 212 yards, which is actually a record till this day. I've set that record in, I think it was 1983, and it's still standing today. Made it to the Pro Bowl, and life is great. Fantastic. My middle. 4th season comes in, and I get hurt. I get cracked ribs. I don't know if anybody had cracked ribs before, but it's really, really painful. So I make a choice because I remembered the look on Vegas Ferguson's face and Horace Ivory's face when I took their job. And I made a vow that no one was going to ever take my job. And I was going to work hard. I was going to make sure that was not going to happen to me. And I made a choice to start taking painkillers. My choice. I started taking painkillers because, you know, at that time, if you didn't practice on a Wednesday or Thursday, you didn't play on Sunday back then. And so I'm taking painkillers all through the week, taking painkillers before the game, actually taking cortisone shots in the side before the game, taking cortisone shots at halftime. And then after the game is over, I'm in a lot of pain. So now the painkillers is just, I'm doubling. And the painkillers were upsetting my stomach really bad. And so one of my friends, I think he was my friend, said to me, he was a teammate of mine, he said, man, if you smoke a little marijuana, it'll take the nauseousness away from you. Never smoked marijuana before, but I had to keep taking the painkillers to stay on the field because I didn't want nobody to take my job. The painkillers and the marijuana. I was taking the painkillers, smoke a little marijuana. Painkillers, smoke a little marijuana. And that's how my whole 4th season went. 5th season went the same way. The problem was the marijuana turned into cocaine, and the cocaine turned into me getting suspended for a whole entire year from the NFL, something that I love, something that I dedicated all my life to, and now I'm suspended. But I got to let you see the choice, how I got suspended. See, when I was with New England, I got tested positive twice, and New England let me go. And I felt really bad, but I had a second chance. You know, the Indianapolis Colts picked me up, and so now I get a chance to start playing over again. And now I'm getting drug tested every single day. I know I'm getting drug tested every day, so no problem. I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to get suspended for the whole entire year. I'm not going to let that happen. So I'm in training camp with the Indianapolis Colts. And, you know, I'm with Eric Dickerson, and we thought we were going to have a real good team that year. And I make a choice in training camp to go to a party. Just a choice to go to a party. I knew at the party there was going to be drugs there, but I wasn't going to do any drugs. I got to take a drug test tomorrow. Not going to happen. I'm not going to do anything bad. So I go to the party, and sure enough, there was marijuana there and a lot of other drugs that was there. You know, I'm sitting back just chilling out, you know, flirting a little bit to the women and, you know, having a good time, and just a little. And so I go in the next day, take my drug test. I didn't mess around. Not this time I didn't. And so the next day, coach calls me in and says my test came up positive for marijuana. How did this happen? I made a choice to go to a party. Just one choice. I didn't know anything about secondhand smoke. Nothing about it. And I made that choice. And see, the choices that we make, not only will they affect us, they will affect people that love us. And so from then, it was just a downward spiral for me. 18 years I stayed away from Boston. 18 years I stayed away from my hometown. 18 years I stayed away from East Carolina because I thought people were ashamed of me. I felt bad, and I just was in a negative mode the whole time. And so one thing I did, I had my son, and he was going through the process, and I was making sure that he get drafted and everything. Of course, he was going to go to college and everything. So now I'm at this job, and I got to tell you this story real quick. I'm at this job that I really don't want to be at. My cousin gets me this job where I thought I was going to be working with kids. And I go to the job, and I'm on the phone all morning talking to parents. And I don't want to talk to parents. I want to talk to kids. I want to help kids. And so I'm on the phone, and I made a decision that at lunchtime, I'm going to go to McDonald's, and I'm not coming back. That's my plan. So I get to McDonald's, and I order number 1. Big Mac, order fries, high-C drink. When the lady gave me the high-C drink, something on the inside told me, you need to go back to that job. Didn't want to go back to that job. So I go back to the job, and I'm sitting at my desk on the phone. Don't want to be on the phone. My coworker that was next to me, he didn't want to be on the phone either because he left, and his phone was ringing. His phone kept ringing. I didn't want to answer my phone, let alone his phone. And I made a choice to answer his phone. And on the other end of the phone was this lady from San Antonio, Texas. I never knew her before. She started talking about her son. I started talking about my son. And I fell in love with this lady over the phone because she encouraged me. She taught me how to think positive again, how to believe again. And I married her. And I married her. Life is all about choices and opportunities. You know, and every good choice that we make, it creates more opportunities. And one thing I want to share with you, that, dreams do come true. They really do. And the power of positive thinking is just unbelievable. And I have to share this with you at the end. Nobody from my high school had ever made it to the NFL before. I knew I was going to make it. In my senior year in high school, there was this friend of mine. His name was Chris Chrissy. He was a good football player. We were sitting on the bench one day, a night before a game, sitting on the bench. And I look over to Chris. I said, Chris, man, wouldn't it be cool if both of us made it to the NFL? Just nonchalantly just said that to him. I can't remember what he said. I knew I was going to make it. I was just hoping Chris would make it too. Chris goes off to Princeton. I go to East Carolina. 4 years later, I get drafted by the New England Patriots in the second round. Chris gets drafted by the New England Patriots in the 12th round. We both got drafted by the same team. Your words have power. Thank you very much.